Hello again. Today our group will be presenting on satellite network, which is the invisible backbone of global communication. And these are our group members. Yes. For the introduction, which is the unseen connector, when we check the weather forecast or use Google Map for direction or watch live international news, we will wonder how all of this information reaches us in the real time. And the answer is the satellite which is orbiting high above us. Today we will focus on our four main areas. The first one is how satellite networks actually work. The second is the different types of orbit, which are GEO, MEO, and LEO. And the third is the revolution of low Earth orbit mega constellations. And the last is the real world application and the future of this technology. The basic next is the basic architecture. Let's begin by breaking down how satellite networks operate. And these are three key segments. The first one is the space segment, which is the satellite itself. It carry transponder and antennas that handle communication signals. And the second is the ground segment, and this include gateways and user terminals, the devices we use to connect with satellites, like a Starlink dash. And the third is the control segment, which is tracking and command stations on the Earth that monitor satellites, keep them in the right orbit, and update their software. Yeah, these three segments work together to make sure signals are sent, received, and controlled smoothly. And next is uplink, downlink, and footprint, and the last is latency. And to understand this better, let's look at some basic term. Which first one is the uplink. Uplink is the signal sent from the Earth to the satellite. And second is the downlink. Downlink is the signal from satellite back to the Earth. And footprint refers to the geographic area on the Earth that a satellite can cover. For example, one satellite might cover all of the Southeast Asia. And the last is the latency. Latency is the time delay it takes from a signal to travel up and back down. And this is crucial because latency affects how fast communication feels. And next is the type of orbits, and my teammates will continue.
Now, let's talk about orbit, because where a satellite is positioned in space determines its performance. The first one is LEO, low Earth orbit, 500 to 2000 kilometers above the Earth. It's very close, so latency is super low. It's less than 50 milliseconds, but one LEO satellite covers a small area, so company launch hundreds or thousands of them in constellation. The second one is MEO, median Earth orbit, is about 5,000 to 20,000 kilometers, and a sweet spot used mainly for investigation, mainly for navigation system like GPS or Galileo. And latency is moderate, around 150 milliseconds. The last one is GEO. Geostationary orbit is around 36,000 kilometers. These satellites appear fixed in the sky. One geo satellite covers about one third of Earth. It is great for broadcasting, but latency is high, about half a second, which you might notice in the live TV interview or call. Now let's specifically look at the geo satellites. They stay fit relative to Earth, which makes them excellent for TV broadcasting and weather monitoring. Their big strength is wide coverage. Just three geo satellites can cover almost the entire Earth. but their weakness is latency. Imagine trying to play an online game with half a second delay. Frustrating, right? That's why Geo isn't ideal for the real-time communication. Now let's compare that with Leo and Mayo. Leo is a buffer for real-time communication like video call, gaming, and internet browsing. Companies like Starlink, OneWeb, and Amazon Project Compire are investing billions to deploy huge constellations. Mayo sits in the middle, mostly for investigation and mostly for navigation. When you use Google Maps to check traffic, you are relying on Mayo satellite like GPS. Each orbit has its own strength and weakness, and together they create a global communication ecosystem.
So what is the Leo revolution? What makes it revolutionary? A company's linking satellite with laser-based inter-satellite links, ISLS, like creating a space-based mesh network. The goal is global high-speed, low latency internet that works even in the most remote regions. Think of it like building a second internet infrastructure, but this time in space. So for the pros and cons of Leo, yeah, of course, every technology has pros and cons. For the positive parts, uh, we can be in the middle of the oceans and still get the internet, extremely low latency. Uh, that's it, fast enough for Zoom calls, gaming, and cloud services. And it can be also the bridge for the digital divide, uh, bringing connectivity to rural and remote areas. So where is the negative part of the Leo? Speed debris is a growing concern with thousands of satellites being launched, and the deployment cost is so high. Like launching rockets isn't cheap. It's got a lot, and the light pollution, like which astronomer when could affect the telescope observation of the night sky. So for the application, satellite networks are not just about faster internet. They have wide-ranging application, so they can bridge the digital divide, connecting rural villages or school in places where the fiber cables can reach. For the mobile connectivity in flight, uh, we can use the Wi-Fi on the airplanes and maritime communication on ships. For the disaster response, after hurricanes or earthquakes or the floods, satellite restore communication when ground infrastructure is destroyed by the disaster. And the last thing is the Internet of Things, IoT. Tracking shipping containers like monitoring pipeline or even smart agriculture across the globe. So we can use the satellites in so many places. So for the future, looking ahead, the integration of satellites with 5G and now even 6G will create seamless global connectivity. So we are also seeing advanced ideas like quantum key distribution, where satellite help transmit unhackable encryption keys for the ultra secure communication. So in short, satellite networks are not just about convenience. They are becoming the part of the world's crucial infrastructure. So to conclude, satellite network connect the entire globe through space, grounds, and the control segment. There are three different orbits: LEO, MEO, and GEO. which are serving for the different purposes. And the real revolution is transforming connectivity, making the internet more accessible and faster than ever. And in the future, satellites will work hand in hand with 5G, 6G, and quantum technologies to ensure that, as we like to say, nobody is left offline. So this is a reference of our projects. Thank you for your attention.